5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How are you getting on, folks? Welcome to the Irish Racing Hour. I'm your host, Shane Rooney, also known as the Peaky Blogger. I'm joined here by my co-hosts, Dean Hegarty and Ryan Sharkey from Racing Records. And we're joined by Maxine O'Sullivan, Cheltenham Festival winning jockey 2020. Maxine, welcome on board.
Thanks very much, lads. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Okay, Maxine, I suppose I'll just kick things off anyway. Just say for those who might know you, just give a brief introduction about yourself and I suppose a day in the life of Maxine O'Sullivan.
Yeah, so I'm an amateur jockey based in Cork, Ireland, and working at home with my dad all the time. We've a yard of pointers and a couple of track horses as well. So we're very busy all the time. Yeah, good team at home, good, nice horses, and mainly pointing for me, and a bit on the track then, the ladies races and amateur races, and a couple for dad and stuff. But yeah, that's it really in a nutshell. I'm at home all the time working away and riding whenever I can. So trying to make the best of both worlds.
Yeah, sure. Looking like that's it. Like, say you're just mentioned there about the point and like in your own words, like how important is the point scene in Ireland? Like I know, say RTE racing, like there was a bit of an argy-bargy between Ruby Walsh and Davy Russell there last week. But I suppose just say for someone that's in the heat of the points, like how important is it for you?
Yeah, it's so a lot of people, it's their bread and butter. It's very commercial and it's actually very professional, especially the last 10 or 15 years now. It has got hugely competitive, and most of the top national hunt horses have started off in point to point. It's a great education for them. They get really well schooled. They get time. They get all that base work, and they get to go out and show what they can do at a young age. And they go on to the sales and hopefully sell for whatever they're worth and go to a bigger yard. And it's essential really for an awful lot of people. There's that high commercial professional side of it, and there's the other, like, more old-fashioned side but lovely side of kind of community spirit and smaller people who are real amateurs and maybe just have a horse or a couple of horses just for a bit of fun, maybe family, something the family enjoy together, and it's they absolutely love it. And they might have an older horse, a winner's the one, a horse back from the track, something, and they're going off there every Sunday pointing, and they've great crack out of it. And it's really important. This year, obviously, it's been so different. The points were on in the autumn behind closed doors because you don't really get the atmosphere. There's a great atmosphere at the point, like, and so the local committees run them, and the committees all pull together, and it's really nice, like, and it's great. And not only for the horses, then you also have the young riders that hugely beneficial for them. They get to ride, again, like I said, the smaller man, the amateur kind of trainer might have a young lad nearby that's riding out the horse, and he gets to ride him in a point. He might never get a chance in a bigger yard. He might be in school. He might be a real amateur who's working, doing something else, and they get to ride and they learn so much. And it's vital. And I hope they come back soon now and get stuck into it again.
Yeah, well, sure, like that's exactly it. Like now my local point, like there's only one meeting a year, like in Stolen, but even say that the likes of Monkfish, Fury Road, Fiddler on the Roof, they've all raced in Stolen, like, and like it's definitely it's only a meeting that's on once a year, but like it's certainly produced a fair amount of serious talented horses as well. Like, but I suppose just say in your own say aspect of things, like where would you like to see yourself in say 5 years time?
I hope I'll be still riding anyway, because I just love racing at the minute, and I hope I stay doing it for another while. I'll stay doing it as long as I enjoy it, I suppose. And I suppose then the natural progression is I'll just stay working with Dad, and hopefully someday he'll stop working and bossing me around, and I'll get to do it for a while. But that doesn't look like it'll happen too soon. So I'll probably be working alongside him for a long time. But yeah, I like that, the point to point thing. I love that. I'd love to get a few of my own horses and do them. Like we at home, we have a couple of our own that we either breed or buy ourselves, but mainly actually they're for owners who are investing, we'll say, investments, like they're buying them to win their point to point and sell on. So in time I'd like to do that myself, maybe have a small number of them and do that. And yeah, I'm not too into the flat actually. Sorry boys, but I wouldn't mind maybe pin hooking a few national hunt horses and that. So just I enjoy anything with horses, to be quite honest. So but national hunt to be my passion. So the point to point thing, hopefully it stays going strength to strength and I can stick at that.
Yeah, well, sure, like that's it as well. Like, but I know, say from looking at a few interviews from yourself, like that you did the national stud course then as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would you see yourself say down the line, say whether you did stay riding or stay training or anything like that? Like, would you see yourself sort of like a bloodstock agent, say for a fairly big, how would you say, like an ownership company, say the likes of Cheveley Park or something like that?
To be honest, the kind of bloodstock side of it I wouldn't be the best at that. I feel like I excel kind of with the horse, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of I like being hands-on with the horses and working with them, as opposed to I wouldn't be very good now at the farm book, like, and the pedigree pages
The
and stuff,
dosage and everything else like that.
I kind of need help with that, like. But I think I'd enjoy maybe just having horses of some capacity, whatever that is. Could be pre-trainers, could be mares. I don't know, anything. Just looking after the horses anyway.
Yeah, well, sure, like that's exactly it. But I just want to take you back, Maxine, to the Foxhunters 2020. Now, your family has been, I suppose, steeped in this particular race. Like, I know there was a photo there going around social media when you won the race there last year of you with your father there only as a baby. But then for you to go and win it, like I think it was either your first or your second time in the race. Like, just how important was it for you just to, I suppose, keep the family tradition going to win the Foxhunters?
Yeah, it was great. Like, it was I suppose my dad was a long time waiting for it, but for me, I didn't have to wait too long, thankfully. But it was unbelievable. Like, it was great. The horse didn't look like he had a chance, we'll say, on his form, but knowing him, we were going there with a great chance, and we were looking forward to a good run. But you couldn't be extremely confident, like, having had a bad run previous. But the race just went exactly how I imagined it would. Everything, when I had imagined the race beforehand, it happened exactly how, and just went. He had a great spin around. Everything happened in the right place, and it was just unbelievable, to be honest. Just kind of, I suppose, shock and not really taking it all in at the time. You just really want to go back and do it all over again now, to kind of, believe that it can happen, if you know what I mean. Like, when it happens, you're just like a bit shocked. But I'd love it to happen now again this year, so I could kind of, I don't know, let myself believe it's happening or something. I don't know. It's funny, hard to describe, but yeah.
Yeah, well, look at like that. That's definitely it. Like, but say in terms of I suppose encouragement, say, for the younger generation coming up, like say like young ladies, say 15, 16 years of age, like they're looking at the likes of yourself, Rachel Blackmore, Lisa O'Neill, say just for yourself alone, like 5-time amateur ladies champion in the point to point scene, Cheltenham Festival winning jockey. Just I suppose if there's any word of advice you could give, say, to I suppose the younger generation looking in, like what would it be and why?
Well, I suppose I am very lucky, and I'm aware I'm very lucky that I had my dad, who was a yard full of point-pointers. So either way, if I was any good or no good, or maybe I'm still no good, I was still going to get a couple of rides off him. Like, so I had a bit of a leg up anyway, and I'm well aware of that, you know. But I know when I was younger, when I started riding, I didn't work very hard, and I took it for granted. And, you know, I had no satisfaction in it. I kind of felt spoilt, and I had no satisfaction. And eventually I went away and worked I went to the National Stud course, and I went to work in Tony Martin's, and I kind of probably calmed down a bit, grew up a bit. And I came home then to work with Dad. And ever since I came home, I just always have worked extremely hard, like, and I feel then that whatever you get, you deserve, and I enjoy it now. But my point is, like, I think that, like, you have to work hard, like, you have to work really hard. And I think girls, unfortunately, I don't know why, but they don't seem to, they're kind of slow burners. Like, even Rachel was well into her 20s when she rode in point to points for years. You know, rode a couple of winners, but, you know, was still Rachel Blackmore, but wasn't Rachel Blackmore, you know. And same like with loads of girls. It just takes a while, and if they keep their head down and work really hard, their talent will come up. I see there on the flat, like Siobhan Rutledge, great girl, like real good worker. And just the last few weeks there, she's flying in Dundalk, like, and this could be her break, like, you know. But, you know, she you know, girls like that, they could have given up, you know, when it didn't happen for them, like it does for maybe young boys like Sam Ewing or the likes of them, when they come on and they're nearly made before they even start. And I just think that girls have to keep their head down and work a bit harder and stick with their trainer and hope that the opportunities will come. Like, I just see Siobhan has been with John McConnell, I think, for quite a long time. I don't know Siobhan very well, but I see her there riding, and, like, she's worked very hard to get where she is, and I hope it goes well for her, you know.
Yeah, well, sure. Look at, like, that's definitely it. Brian, Dean, do any of you have any questions there for Maxine?
Yeah.
I'll just.
Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
Sure. Yeah. Maxine, what do you make of, obviously, the amateurs not being allowed to go over to Cheltenham? How big of an effect do you think that'll have on Cheltenham Festival as a whole?
Yeah, for us, like, it's very disappointing if we're not allowed to ride, obviously. You'd love a bit of clarity, which I know they can't. It's out of their hands. It's in the government's hands, and hopefully into next week we'll have a bit of an idea. But it's just strange that, like, if our horse runs, let's say, and a professional is to ride him, like, I'll be going with him. Like, I'll be the one leading him up. I'll be there, you know. Same with Patrick Mullins. I imagine will go to Cheltenham anyway with his team of horses, whether he can ride there or not. Like, not that anyone can go, but, like, we are needed there with the horses. So it's just annoying that I could be there leading up the horse and I can't be riding him, you know. I'd nearly lead him up and ride him if they'd let me do it, you know. But it's just strange. I suppose they made their rule, they have to stick to it. It's really disappointing. If we're not allowed to ride, I don't know what I'll do myself if that happens. But I don't think it'll make a huge effect, like, to the public or the general the punters or anyone who enjoys Cheltenham. I don't think they'll mind too much. But for a lot of amateurs, especially those involved with the Foxhunters, that's the real amateur race. I think, and a lot of English amateurs will be very disappointed because a lot of them just buy a horse specifically for this race to have a ride there, or to have a horse there. So like hugely, and a lot of these horses are older as well. You know, they mightn't get back there next year. You know, and for them to have this horse aimed at the race and they're not able to ride it themselves, or even their family probably aren't even able to go, definitely aren't able to go see it, the owners, whatever. It's just very disappointing for that, for them. So I don't know what the story will be with the amateurs, but I hope they make some kind of decision soon so we can know what lies ahead.
Yeah, hopefully it's resolved soon. Like you said, it's a bit silly, really. You being able to go over and lead the horse out, and
Yeah,
you're not able to ride it at all.
yeah, that would be very, very disappointing. Yeah.
Big time.
Just
Dean?
just touching on that, Maxine, there, do you think could a wee bit more be done? Say for like amateurs like yourself, Patrick Mullins there and Jimmy Cott, who are more like professionals. Do you think that something could be done between, both governing bodies where you could be granted so-called professional license for maybe the month or 2 months for to get it over Cheltenham and Aintree, say?
Yeah, I think there is an announcement from the English government coming next week, and maybe whatever that says, we're hoping, I suppose, that it'll say that amateur sports can resume with that. But I don't know. Maybe we could look into it. But I suppose whatever the government say, the BHA aren't going to be able to fight them on something that really, in the broader scheme of things, they think isn't important, in hindsight with what's going on. But that would be great if we could do something like that. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. And like you say, as you say in hindsight, there it's not something that's important to them, but a lot of people like yourself and your dad and other stables are up and down the country, like Colombo and that. Point to point is life. It's business every day, and it must be hard enough to take. Do you see maybe the likes of your dad putting some of them horses on bumpers or maiden hurdles like we're seeing at the minute with some of the rest of the point to point trainers?
Yeah, so we already have a good few gone doing this. Yeah, gone to hurdles with the plan that they can run hopefully as well as they can, and either sell them off that, or they have the option then to come back to the point to point with the new rule. So yeah, the entries have gone mad now. 140 horses in maiden hurdles. It's mental, and now the racing all cancelled this week doesn't help the situation either. So it's all just mad, and you don't know when horses are getting in, and then they get in and it's cancelled and it starts all over again. So it's kind of, I do think an awful lot of point to point people are running their horses on the track. Yeah. I see older horses in handicap chases, point to point, young horses in bumpers or maiden hurdles. And yeah, we'll see a lot more of that, I'd say, until the point to points come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good rule they brought in to let them run. It was nice. It was great, like for the point to point people, that they had an option anyway, that their horses weren't just stuck at home waiting for God knows how long till we hear the point to points are back. So it was great that they had the option, but unfortunately the knock-on effect now is, like, it's so hard now to get into races, and especially with the weather. So it's all a bit up in the air.
We had myself and Ryan there. We were doing Cheltenham stuff during the week there. We were talking to Ronan McNally. You've rode one of Ronan's horses, or a couple of Ronan's horses before. The real deal. How much of a kick out of that did you get? Considering he's now going to the Supreme Novice Observer.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed him. He is just like different gravy altogether, obviously, because he went on to win a grade 2. So if I got beaten him, I'd be really just, but really enjoy him. He just has so much confidence, the horse, that he just gives it through to you. Like, looking back at the race, the ladies' race the first day, I couldn't believe, looking back at it, how confident I looked. But it was just, the horse was just so, like, he gives you the confidence. The way he travels and carries himself, even his presence, you can kind of see it even in his races. He has an eye on him. Like, he knows he's great, and he's unbelievable. And I love being involved with him, and I was delighted he won the last day. He was super. He was really, really good the last day. I was really worried early on, but God, he was very good. And I can't wait to see him now in Cheltenham and see him go on. He's just fabulous horse, yeah. It was really good.
Whenever we were talking to Ronan, like Ronan was saying that Supreme is the more likely route that he's going to go down, given that they're going to go the frantic pace and you know, take their chance. He definitely has a good each way chance in Ronan's mind. Like, will that give you a good thrill as well, sitting on that Tuesday watching him come up the hill?
Definitely. I'll be watching him like he's one of our own. I really love him, and the buzz I got off riding him, and I feel like, I don't know, he gave me a lot of confidence as well, and I really enjoyed riding him, and I love watching him run. Loved it the last day, and like that in Cheltenham now, he'll be like watching one of our own horses. I'll be nervous watching him, but just delighted to be kind of a part of it, and I hope he does really well. Yeah.
If I mind right, you picked up another ride for Ronan. Then was it over in Newbury or somewhere like that? Was it you rode the Jam Man?
The Jam Man. Yeah. So I'd ridden the Jam Man. I've ridden the Jam Man actually. When he was a pointer, I rode him in his point when he was 4. So I know the Jam Man a long time before he was at Ronan. And then I won 3 in England on him. I think it was 2018 when he won 3 in a row the week kind of around before Cheltenham that year. And we reunited then in Haydock, but just kind of wasn't to be that day. He just found it a bit tough. The ground was awful. Everything was awful. We never really got into a rhythm. But God, he has been a great servant to Ronan also. Like, he's just fantastic. The Troytown win was incredible. Like, he's not a very big horse, and you definitely wouldn't look at him and say he's a chaser. So the way he won the Troytown was brilliant, and full credit to Ronan, what he does with the horses. They love life, and they want to win, and he does a great job with them. Yeah, he's top class. It's delighted to be falling in for some rides. Sometimes it's great. It's really exciting to ride a horse for Ronan, because he knows exactly what he's talking about. When he tells you about a horse, you know that what he says they do, and what he says will happen. He has it down to the fractions. You know, he knows them so well, and they're a pleasure to ride. Yeah, class.
I was slagging Ronan on Wednesday night, I think it was, when we were talking to him, that he's no longer the star anymore. Cian Tubbs is the star of the show there now.
Yeah.
he really
he's
is
brilliant. Yeah.
He really is.
I saw him on RT there last week. He was fantastic. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. He's brilliant.
Just last thing from me, is there anything in particular at Cheltenham Festival you're looking forward to seeing, aside from the Real Deal there that we talked about?
Not really. As I said, I'm not great at the farm book and stuff, but I did obvious one, I suppose. But I was very impressed with Monkfish in Leopardstown. Thought he was very solid. You know, he just looks solid to me. I think he's kind of straightforward and whatever. I think he's solid and well able for whatever happens. And he was the one that caught my eye that weekend. But yeah, other than that, I'll just be enjoying the racing.
Yeah. Shane, back to you.
Yeah, we should look at like that's it. I suppose just before we finish up, I want to say a massive thanks to the sponsor of the show there this week, Hacked Up Horse Racing Gifts. They've kindly sponsored the giveaway for the patron subscribers that we have for our, I suppose, to help fund the podcast and help it happen. So I have the names all down here. in a bit of a bowl. So I'll just give them a quick mix up. The giveaway this month is I suppose a racing team mug in the colours of, I suppose, whatever your favourite horse is, and a Cheltenham Festival book.
Right there.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Keith Jenkinson is the winner of this week's. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll send a photo on to Ryan anyway, so he can I suppose stick it into the video then as well. But look, thanks again for tuning in there this week. I suppose I just want to say a massive thanks to my co-host Dean Hegarty and Ryan Sharkey for taking a half an hour out of their busy schedule, and as well as that, a massive thanks to Maxine as well for doing the exact same. Maxine, I want to wish you the very best of luck for the rest of the season, whatever you can pick up rides here, there, and everywhere. But hopefully, anyway, you'll finish it off on a high anyway.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hopefully you get to ride in the Foxhunters, Maxine, and we'll keep everything crossed that things fall your way.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, lads.
No problem.